So I'd like to go through a couple of things to do with formatting of text on your app, rather than just being a blank list. Okay, that it actually has a bit of structure, maybe a bit of formatting, so bold, underline, new lines, paragraphs, and so forth. So we're going to use the code that you see in front of you here. I'll share this file separately so that you have it, reference to it. Let's get straight in and show you what we're talking about. So if I take some lyrics, if I were to copy and paste this text into my spreadsheet, I would find that I would get that list. Okay, it would appear, of text. It would appear in the cell there. By the way, if you want to sort of see more of, you can drop down that so you can see more of your input bar. So that cell there is filled with that text, and it's actually got the in essence the line breaks, the returns actually in the text because I copied it off of the internet. Anyway, however, if I go to my app, what does it look like? It looks like a big mash of information, and that's because the computer can't cope unless it's told something. So it doesn't know that there is a line break between Angels and Realize. As a matter that here the text, it just can't cope. So it needs to be told that there's a new line after Angels, okay, and after every other line that's there. The other issue is paragraphs, and I'll just show you an example of, so you're in context of your song, you might have a verse, okay, and then a space, and then another paragraph as such of text, and there's two ways of doing it. Very quickly, I've got an example here of another song where I have actually put it into paragraphs, and you can see here there's a verse and there's another verse, and what I've done for this example is the previous line to this one. Hang on, let's come out of that. So you can see I've got several lyrics fields, and in each cell I've got a different paragraph or a different verse of text. So when I have my app set up, I've got a series of rich text components, and they add together. Now you don't need to have a whole list of different rich text components. You can actually just have one, and I'm going to show you that as a process here with Ytry. So we're going to completely change the way in which this text looks, and I'm going to use these HTML tags, hypertext markup language formatting tags, to be able to do that. The idea with tags is that some of them are just one-offs, and sometimes they like brackets have a start and an end. So if you think of a paragraph has a start and an end. If I want to write bold text, okay, there's going to be a start of the bolding, and then it's going to stop being emboldened at the end. So I need to use a start and an end. So I'm going to put in some line breaks. So into this text here that I've got, doesn't matter the fact that when I copied it in, the line breaks there, I have to add in the line breaks. So you'll notice there's the use of the more than and less than. So a less than and then slash br and then greater than gives you a line break. So and then I'll do a few of these. So, and actually what you could do is you could even sort of copy and paste down. So what you're going to see in a moment now is when I refresh this. So first you have to come out, I have to actually press enter on the cell to actually make sure that text is actually inputted in. And then if I go over and refresh, you can see it already starts to refresh. You can see my lines actually start there. Realize is now on a new line. Okay, so the next thing I want to have a paragraph. So I'm loving the pain, okay, is going to be the next paragraph, right? So actually from I've been living up until as far as devils, that is one paragraph. So let's actually put a paragraph in. So that is the less than, more than, and then P, and at the end, to end the paragraph, I do /P. And then to start a new paragraph, I put in P, And then where's the paragraph? Where's the verse end? It ends with na 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 na. Oh yeah, right, okay. So again, I'd put my /p at the end there, and then the next one's going to be, I'm going to start a paragraph again, and so on and so on and so on. I still have to have my line breaks. So I put my line breaks into every single line. So I should find when now again, I need to come out of that. I need to actually make sure it's fully entered in. And if I refresh, what I should find now is I've got, there you go. So you've got a paragraph there, a bit of an extra space for the next paragraph, and a bit of an extra space for the next paragraph. I also had put line breaks at the end, so that's all sorted itself out. Okay, and then all I need to do is finish it off with the rest of the song. So you up as far as skip is a paragraph. Skip. Hang on. Skip is skip. There we go. So I can put my close paragraph, which is a lowercase p. All these are with lowercase letters. Start. Get my shifts wrong. And then at the end, u ... is going to be the end of the paragraph. I actually don't really need that. That's not actually required. Okay, but just for completeness sake, it's always appropriate where possible that you have your beginning and your end. Just very quickly, you'll notice the line break. The line break's a bit different from the others. It's just /br. Okay, there's no start of a BR and end of a line break. It's just line break. So I can just insert that in, and I'll get all my line breaks, and I've got all my paragraphs in there now. So let's just again press enter to refresh that. Refresh, and you should find the last two verses will be set up. There you go, with my line breaks. So that's how you can set out your work. So a little bit more structure with paragraphs, with your line finishing off and so forth. Now the next thing is you might want to do some other formatting. So for the sake of argument, you might want to deal with changing of the font size. You might want to change the formatting. So let's just say for sake of argument, let me just make the word living. Okay, I want to make that bold. Okay, it doesn't matter if I use bold here, and so it's not going to translate onto the app. You actually have to go B, and then at the end, living with devils. I mean, this might be if you have an emphasis of certain words and so forth. Let's do some underlining as well. In the same boat. Okay, so underline is a U, and at the end /U. So I always have to end. Now I'm going to show you what happens if I don't end it. So if I go italics, right? Okay, and I forget that about when the italics is going to finish. Let's see what happens with the text. So going back, let's refresh this. So there's some bowling, and it starts and ends. There's some underlying, it starts and some ends. And then my italics started, and I never finished it, so you can see it ends up going right until the end. So the key thing is with your text, you need to make sure that when you do your italics, that you would end it afterwards with the slash to get the ending of the tag. Okay, if I do that now, press enter and then go in, refresh, you should find now that most of this text will disappear, and I'm left with, there you go, just that bit there that is italicized. So that's sort of font sort of embellishments, I suppose. You can change the size of certain font as well. So for example, if I felt as though the text that's being displayed there wasn't in the sort of size that I wanted, so let's just change the last paragraph of the verse deliberately. I mean, obviously I'm not wanting this to look like this, but if I go font space size equals, now let's go with 4. Okay, so sort of scale from about 1 to about 5 or 6. 1 is small, 6 is big. The text is being presented, the ones I've done so far, I think the default is 3 pretty much. Okay, so let's press enter, and that's entered in. Now if I refresh, you'll see my last paragraph should change the size of font There you go, slightly larger. So 3 is what you're seeing here, generally speaking, as a default. And if you go with 2 or 4 or 1 or 5, whatever you, then you'll make it bigger or smaller. Okay, 1 is smallest, 5 or 6 is very large. If you ever want to do a bullet point list, so again, I'm going to deliberately make one of my verses into a bullet pointed list. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get rid of these line breaks for a moment. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of the formatting as such, just to keep it simple so you can see what's going on. So with a list, the first thing I want to do is I want to turn on that list. Okay, so I'm going to open it up by saying an unordered list, it's a UL. Okay, and then each item, each bullet point needs to have LI for list item. Okay, again, list item. Again, you copy, if you're doing numerous of these, you can copy paste. So Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then let's say for the sake of argument, I want the last line I want to end my list. Okay, what I would need to do is I'd need to actually go /UL. Okay, to end my unordered list. Press enter. Let's go back to the app and let's see what happens. One of these paragraphs should actually turn into a bullet point list. There you go. There's the bullet point list. Okay. If I want it to be numbered, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I would go with not an unordered list, I would go with an ordered list, which is OL. Again, make sure my end tag also has that same code. So you'll see now they should end up being numbered. There you go. There is one other thing that you might want to do, which involves doing a table. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that as a separate video when I can get it together with a suitable example. And the key idea with doing a table is like a two-way table grid. You have to set yourself up with your rows and your columns. But I'll do that in a separate video. I hope this has been of use to you. Any questions, please ask. I'll copy in this list of information so that you've got access to it and you can refer to it if you wish. Okay, all the best. Bye.